Alright, shalom, shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Son of the living power, the Messiah, which these are the true names of the Most High, that's only begotten Son, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, and Lashon Kodash, which means holy language, or holy tongue. Also want to give double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and peace and blessings unto the elect. And salute, shalom to the fellow laborers on His truth. Right, peace and blessings unto the elect. Right, this lesson is basically going to be concerning on how we have to preach the gospel of peace daily. Daily, man. Right? If we truly love Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, we're going to preach the gospel, man. We're going to teach the truth, man. And our concern is going to be teaching the truth. Right? Because ultimately, our concern is going to be what? Caring for the elect. Our concern is being helpful for the brethren, for the brotherhood, for the elect. You know? Which touching on the mind of Paul, the Apostle Paul, which his office was towards the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners. So he had a duty to what? To tend to the church. Not to the church, but to the churches that were scattered abroad. Now, when we go into the travels of Paul, he went a great sum of, he had a lot of journeys in his life, man. For the church, for the elect, for the brethren, man. For the believers. Going to and fro. Back and forth. You know? But even in the midst of all that, even in the middle of all that, he was still dealing with struggles, adversity, troubles, and trials, etc. You know? Which these are the words of Yahweh. These are the words of Paul. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 28. It says, besides those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. Right, so no matter all the things that he went through, if you want, I may touch upon it. Right, but no matter all the things he went through, right, the things he struggled with, the adversity, the persecutions, he was always concerned about the churches, man, about the election, man, about the elect. He was concerned with the brethren, man, with perfecting the saints, man. Now, if you're a beginner, if you're a newcomer, this is for you. This 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 24. Matter of fact, verse 23. These are the words of Paul. Are they ministers of Yahweh Shai? I speak as a fool. I am more. Yeah, because ultimately the Apostle Paul the Apostle Paul worked more abundantly than all the other apostles. You know? So he was a great minister of Yahweh Shai. It says, in labors more abundant. So the Apostle Paul, he was laboring for the church. He was doing the work. But also, he was also laboring, right? He was a man that worked, a normal work. It says, and stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, and deaths often. So Paul he suffered, stripes, man. He suffered stripes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, stripes is what? Wounds. If a person whip you with a whip, that's a stripe, if I'm not mistaken. If a person hits you with a rod, that's a stripe. Right? It says in prisons more frequent. So Paul, he had his times in prisons, man, his life, for preaching the word, for preaching the gospel, for the faith. It says in deaths often. So Paul, he died, man. Paul, he suffered death. Right? There was a time when Paul, he got stoned by the people, and they thought he was dead, so they cast him out of the city. Or they cast his body, man, to somewhere. He suffered death, man. It says, of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. So Paul, from his own brethren, suffered stripes, suffered wounds for the faith, for the ministry. It says, thrice was I beaten with rods. So he was beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. So 3 times he suffered shipwreck. For what? Now what he was going to and fro to the churches, man, doing the work. No, by ship, and he suffered shipwreck by 3 times. 3 times, man. It says a night and a day I have been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren. Now the word perils means high risk of danger and death. So he got, danger was coming from his own people, his own countrymen, his own, from false brethren, like from people who you thought was your brothers, for the ministry, for the faith. Dangers from robbers, dangers from waters, from the sea, from the rivers, dangers from the heathen, dangers from the whole cities, man. This is in weariness and painfulness, in watching often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. So Paul, he suffered watchings, meaning what, he stayed up late at night, meaning he lost sleep. He suffered hunger and thirst. He fasted. He been in the cold. He been naked. All for what? For doing the work, for the faith, for the ministry. Even, because ultimately, going out there in the highways and doing these videos, this is a small part of our life. So there's things that we deal with, without the cameras, man. Not in front of the cameras, man. It says, besides those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. Right? And that word care means to concern. So Paul, he was concerned for the elect. That was his concern about what, being of help, feeding the sheep, feeding the lambs, man. Whether by knowledge and understanding, or by financial, way, if you will, right? Because you got alms, you got tithes, or not tithes, but alms, and stuff like that. Right? And that's the type of mind that we ought to have. Because this is what Yahweh Shai said. John chapter 21, verse 15. it says, so when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith, it says, he saith unto him, feed my lambs. He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my sheep. He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved, because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, feed my sheep. Now what is that concerning? Right, feed the people, feed Israel knowledge and understanding. Feed them this truth, man. Right, because ultimately this truth, this gospel is it's a free gift. Right, you're freely given this truth, and you are able to freely give it, man. So if you truly love Yahushua, you will feed the people, man. You will teach this truth, man. You'll attend to the church, you know. And you can do that in a lot of ways, whether it's by alms, teaching the truth, edifying them, counseling them, warning and rebuking, reproving, exhorting. You know? Let's go to the book of Luke. Man, let's just get Luke chapter 12, verse 42. It says, and the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward? And that's what we are. Those of us that, you know, the men in his faith and his truth, that believe in Yahushua and that know this truth, that learned this truth, right? We are that faithful steward. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a steward is someone that was appointed over a possession, over a house or over a land, if I'm not mistaken. You're basically an overseer. You know? It says, who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make him ruler over his household, to give them their their portion of meat in due season. It says, blessed is that servant, right, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. So blessed is you, you know, that do this work. You know, blessed is you that, you know, that do the will of the Heavenly Father, that's prepared, man, that's standing upon your watch, man. Prophesying, teaching, edifying, studying, praying, man. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. I'm going to close off on that. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch right? We ought to stand upon our watch. Now, what does concerning what? Standing up, being watchmen. We're watchmen, in other words. We're basically watchmen, warners. Right? We foresee things. We foresee and we warn people. And that's us prophesying concerning, the times to be or times to come. Right? It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what it will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. It says, and the Lord, or shall I say, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision. Now the vision, the word vision is another word for, is synonymous to prophecy or prophecies. It says, write the vision and make it plain upon table. Now what it means to make it plain upon table means what? To make it understandable, to make it, easily understood, if you will. Easily to comprehend. And, when we learn this truth and we out there teach it, we have to break it down. Right? We break down the scriptures. Right? We dig into the words. It says, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So the just, the righteous, the godly is going to live by faith, going to be saved by faith. Now the scriptures tell you in the book of James that faith without works is dead. Just like a body without soul is dead, man. Right? To give you an example, your faith is like the body, but your works is the soul of that body. Now, if your body have no soul, then you're dead, man. So your faith without works is nothing. There's no profit. But these things, the faith and works working hand in hand with each other, there's profit. There's effectiveness. There's great gain. So do the work, brother. And this is a warning to me. This is, exhortation to me as well. Do the work. If it's in our spirit to upload 2 or 3 videos a day, hey, Lord willing, we upload them. Shalom. I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Devil understand other apostles, a great most honored peace and blessings unto the elect. And salute shalom to the fellow laborers in his truth. And all praise and honor and glory be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.